Welcome to the Cenario podcast, your guide to mental health and well-being. Each episode, we uncover practical tools, discuss expert insights, and explore how supplements can transform your mental health journey. Get ready to learn, grow, and thrive with us.
Okay, let's face it. If you're living and breathing in the modern world, stress is just part of the deal, isn't it?
It really is unavoidable.
Right. And that feeling, we all know, the tight chest, the racing thoughts. There's a key player behind that, a specific hormone.
Cortisol, often called the stress hormone.
Exactly. The commander-in-chief of your fight-or-flight response.
Yeah, though cortisol often gets a bit of a bad rap. Labeling it just the stress hormone isn't the full picture. We actually need it.
Oh, really? How so?
Well, it's produced by your adrenal glands, and it's essential for things like metabolism, regulating inflammation. It even helps you wake up refreshed in the morning. Think of it as the body's emergency response team.
Okay, so it's the hormone that, helps you jump out of the way of a bus.
Precisely. It's meant for those acute situations.
Got it. So, our mission today, for you listening, is really a shortcut. We want to dive deep into the natural ways, specifically supplements, to help balance this really powerful hormone. We're going to filter through the noise and give you the options with the most solid research behind them.
And that deep dive is so important because, like I said, the issue isn't cortisol itself, it's when it stays high all the time. Chronically elevated levels.
When the emergency alarm just won't shut off.
Exactly. And that's when it starts causing problems. The sources we looked at clearly link high cortisol to things like increased anxiety, that stubborn weight around the middle that's hard to lose, and definitely disrupted sleep. So managing cortisol isn't just about feeling less stressed. It's fundamental for your overall health and well-being.
Okay, so let's unpack that a bit. Why are we seeing such a focus on supplements right now? If stress is tied to lifestyle, why are people reaching for, a pill or a powder instead of just fixing their diet or habits?
That's a great question. I think it boils down to people looking for something effective, something measurable, but ideally without the side effects you might get from pharmaceuticals.
Makes sense.
Lifestyle changes are absolutely the foundation we have to keep saying that, and we'll definitely circle back. But natural supplements can offer this promising way to help modulate cortisol levels.
Like a boost.
Sort of a strategic boost, yeah. Helping the body's own regulatory system get back online maybe a bit quicker than diet alone might achieve.
Okay. So for anyone listening who wants to get up to speed quickly, we need to focus. Cut through the clutter and look at the top 4, the ones with really solid clinical trials showing they impact cortisol.
Exactly. The heavy hitters in this area, based on the current research, we're talking ashwagandha, magnesium, omega-3 fatty acids, and L-theanine.
Right.
Each one works a bit differently, but they all support the HPA axis. That's the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, your body's main stress control system.
Let's kick off with ashwagandha. It feels like you can't talk about stress supplements without mentioning this one. It's everywhere.
And honestly, for good reason. Ashwagandha is what's called an adaptogen. It's an herb that specifically helps your body adapt to stress.
How? What's it actually doing?
It seems to directly modulate that HPA axis we just mentioned. It helps regulate its activity. And the data, it's pretty compelling. Studies show it can significantly decrease serum cortisol levels.
Okay, significantly is good. But the number that really jumped out from the sources, up to 32% reduction in some studies.
That's right. In individuals dealing with chronic stress, reductions up to 32% have been seen in clinical trials. That's quite substantial for a natural compound.
Wow. How does that stack up against, say, things like meditation or exercise? Are we talking the same ballpark?
It's a bit different. That 32% highlights the direct chemical impact ashwagandha can have. It works alongside those behavioral changes, acting more on the hormonal level itself. Think of it as helping to turn down the volume on that internal stress alarm.
Okay.
And it's not just about cortisol. It's often linked to better sleep quality, improved mood, even some potential support for thyroid health. Makes it popular in holistic circles.
But something that seems that powerful must have some downsides, or at least things to watch out for.
Absolutely. There's a crucial caveat. The science is pretty robust for its short-term effectiveness, especially when cortisol is high due to stress. But we don't have a lot of really long-term data.
Meaning studies over years, not just weeks or months.
Exactly. We don't fully know the effects of taking it continuously for, say, 5 or 10 years. That's why the sources always emphasize using it under guidance. You need to be sure it's right for you and know how to taper off if needed. Medical supervision is key.
That's a really important point. Which leads us nicely to number 2. magnesium. This one's different. It's an essential mineral, not a complex herb. But deficiency is strongly linked to higher cortisol. Why this mineral in particular?
Magnesium is just fundamental. It's involved in over 300 biochemical reactions in the body. Many of those relate directly to how your nervous system functions, neurotransmitters, muscle relaxation. So if you're deficient, your nervous system literally has a harder time calming down. Plus, it plays a role in regulating cortisol production itself. So yeah, it's often seen as a first-line defense, a foundational piece for stress relief.
Given it's so basic, so essential, if someone's low, why wouldn't just improving their diet be enough? Why jump to a supplement?
That's a sharp question. And ideally, yes, diet would be enough. But the reality is, modern farming practices have depleted magnesium levels in the soil.
Right. Less in the soil means less in the food.
Exactly. Plus, processed foods are often low in it. And here's the kicker. Stress itself actually uses up your magnesium stores more quickly.
Oh, wow. So it's a double whammy.
Pretty much. Your body needs more, but your typical diet might be delivering less, and stress burns through what you do have. So supplementation often just makes practical sense for a quicker replenishment to break that cycle.
And safety-wise, compared to ashwagandha, it seems less complex.
Generally, yes. Its safety profile is very strong. It's widely available, usually well tolerated. The main thing to know, and it's worth mentioning, is that taking too much, especially too quickly, can cause some GI upset.
Like diarrhea.
That's the most common one, yes. So the advice is always start with a lower dose and increase gradually.
Okay, good advice. Moving on then, number 3, omega-3 fatty acids. We hear about these all the time for heart health, brain function. But the cortisol connection. How does reducing inflammation link to reducing stress hormones? Seems like a bit of a jump.
It's less of a jump and more about seeing the connections. Chronic stress doesn't just feel bad mentally. It creates low-grade inflammation throughout the body.
Okay, I follow that.
Omega-3s, especially the EPA and DHA types, are well known for fighting that inflammation. But here's the key insight from the research we reviewed. They also seem to directly impact the HPA axis.
Back to the HPA axis again.
Yes. They help modulate its activity, making it less reactive to stress triggers. And the data here is also impressive. A specific 2021 randomized controlled trial, it showed participants taking omega-3s had a 33% reduction in cortisol levels when they were put in a stressful situation.
33%. Wow, that's even higher than the ashwagandha number we talked about.
It is. It really underscores how tied together inflammation and stress regulation are. Plus, like you said, you get all those other benefits, neuroprotection, potential anti-aging effects. It makes omega-3s a really high-value supplement.
Definitely seems like a win-win.
Yeah.
Okay, so that brings us to the last of the big 4, L-theanine.
Right, L-theanine, often thought of as the gentle modulator. It's an amino acid found famously in tea leaves, especially green tea.
And what makes it unique compared to, say, the hormonal punch of ashwagandha or the systemic effect of magnesium?
L-theanine works differently, maybe more subtly. It crosses the blood-brain barrier quite easily, and its main action is promoting alpha brainwaves.
Alpha waves.
Yeah.
That's the calm, focused state, right? Like meditation.
Exactly, that feeling of relaxed alertness. And crucially, it also boosts GABA.
GABA.
GABA is your brain's main inhibitory neurotransmitter. Think of it as the brake pedal. When GABA levels go up, anxiety tends to go down, and that whole cascade of stress hormones naturally slows.
So the big appeal here is that it calms you down without making you sleepy. You take it during the day.
Precisely. That's its unique selling point. Calm focus without the drowsiness. And you mentioned synergy earlier. It's often used together with ashwagandha or magnesium. The idea is it enhances the calming effects without adding sedation.
Okay, that covers the big 4. Now, this is where things can get a bit murky, right? What about other supplements people sometimes mention for cortisol? Things maybe less researched.
Yeah, this is where we move into what you might call secondary support options. You'll sometimes hear recommendations for things like rhodiola rosea, that's another adaptogen, or phosphatidylserine, vitamin C, even magnolia bark.
Okay.
But it's really important for listeners to understand the level of research backing for these varies a lot. They aren't considered the primary go-to options based on the current weight of evidence like the big 4 are. They might be worth considering later, maybe, but only after exploring the main ones.
This really brings up the most critical point, I think. Can someone just take these 4 supplements, maybe add in a few others, and ignore everything else? Like, can you just buy your way out of stress with pills? Because I suspect that's not the case.
You absolutely cannot. And we really have to hammer this home. Supplements are not a magic bullet. They aren't a standalone fix.
They have to be part of a bigger picture.
Exactly. They must complement those fundamental lifestyle changes for them to really work optimally, because honestly, those behaviors, they regulate cortisol even more powerfully than the supplements do.
Can you give us the why behind that? Why are things like sleep and exercise so non-negotiable for cortisol?
Sure. Think about it from your body's perspective. Being sleep deprived, your adrenal glands see that as a major stressor, an emergency.
Ah, okay. Danger signal.
Right, so they pump out cortisol to keep you awake and alert because they think you're in danger. Supplements just can't completely override that kind of strong primal signal. So, getting adequate sleep, moving your body regularly, finding stress management techniques that work for you, meditation, yoga, deep breathing, whatever it is, that's the foundation.
The foundation that lets the supplements actually do their job effectively.
Perfectly put.
We've talked about these impressive short-term results, like the 32% or 33% reductions, but let's circle back to safety and being critical. As exciting as those numbers are, what are the big cautions around using these things long-term?
It comes back to what we touched on with ashwagandha. While the short-term data is often promising, the evidence consistently points to a need for more comprehensive long-term studies. We just don't have a complete picture of the safety and effectiveness of taking some of these, especially the adaptogens, for years on end.
So we need to be cautious, respect that these are powerful substances.
Exactly. Approach supplementation with prudence.
Which means talking to a doctor isn't just a polite suggestion. It's really essential before starting anything.
It's absolutely crucial. Non-negotiable, really. You need to consult with a healthcare provider, a doctor, a naturopath, a pharmacist who's knowledgeable in this area.
Why specifically?
Several reasons. To ensure it's actually safe for you, given your health history. To help figure out the right dosage to maximize benefits. And maybe most importantly, to check for potential interactions with any other medications you're taking.
Right. Even natural things can interfere with prescription drugs.
Definitely. They can affect how drugs are metabolized, absorbed. It's complex. Professional guidance is key to doing this safely and effectively.
Okay, so let's tie all this together. We've looked at the big four, the lifestyle factors, the cautions. If we zoom out to the big picture, what's the actionable plan for someone listening right now who wants to get a handle on their cortisol?
The comprehensive plan really hinges on two words: consistency and integration. It means strategically adding in one or more of the well-researched supplements, the ashwagandha, magnesium, omega-3s, L-theanine, into your daily routine. But doing that while making absolutely sure those healthy lifestyle pillars are solidly in place. Good sleep, movement, stress management.
So it's the combination.
It's the combined approach. That's the most effective, the most sustainable way to support balanced cortisol levels and boost your overall well-being. And patient results vary. Some people feel changes in a few weeks. For others, it might take a month or longer. Consistency is really the magic ingredient here.
It definitely feels like there's a growing interest in these natural solutions for stress, and the research is getting stronger. We've seen how powerful these tools can potentially be, but only when used smartly.
Right. Strategically.
So as you, the listener, think about making changes, maybe the final thought is this: the real power isn't just in the supplement bottle itself. It's in understanding how these compounds work, how they interact with your unique physiology, and crucially, how they fit into that bigger picture of your overall health habits.
Absolutely.
Staying informed, keeping up with the research as it evolves, that's what allows you to make truly educated, empowered choices for your own health journey. You're in the driver's seat.
Thanks for tuning in to the Cenario podcast. Don't forget to visit Cenario.com for more expert tips, articles, and supplements designed to support your mental health. If you enjoyed this episode, remember to subscribe and share it with a friend. Until next time, take care of yourself.